Hello, fellow astrologers, and welcome back to another episode of the Astrology Keyring Fundamental Series. In this video, D9, we'll be talking about Uranus the Awakener. We'll go over a little bit about what Uranus does in the zodiac. We'll also talk about some of the interactive links we have and give chart details on ruling signs and connections that Uranus has. Later on, we'll come back to the key ring. We'll talk about how it all connects on here in the 11th house and Aquarius. And when we're finally done with that, we'll come back here and read those keywords. So let's go over here and read from the paragraph. Uranus is the planet of innovation, rebellion, and sudden change. It governs technology, breakthroughs, independence, and originality. Uranus energy is electrifying, unconventional, and future-focused, often shaking up stagnant systems or thinking. It represents where you break the rules, blaze your own trails, and embrace uniqueness. In the chart, Uranus shows how you handle disruptions and how you innovate. At its best, Uranus inspires genius, freedom, and revolution. At its worst, it brings chaos, instability, or detachment from reality. Okay, that gives us a good little idea to start off with on what Uranus is about in astrology. Uranus was the first planet that was discovered with a telescope. All the other planets before it you actually can see with the naked eye. It was discovered in 1781 by William Herschel, which was back before America was recognized as a country in the Paris Agreement in 1784. So this is 3 years before America was actually a country. Mr. William Herschel found this planet with a telescope. It also takes 84 years to go completely around the sun, which is why it's one of the slower moving planets. And usually you'll only get to see one complete rotation around the sun in a lifetime for one of these planets. I mean, unless we figure out how to live past 160 years. But who knows? Uranus does share a lot of Aquarius and 11th house energy. They are about revolution, freedom, and genius. Aquarius keyword is I know. It is the sign of knowing. And we are now in the age of Aquarius. Some would argue when that's begun. Personally, I think it happened on the day everybody was watching on September 11th. It was the most viewed moment in history. But that is all completely subject to debate. But let's move on over here and talk about these links real quick. Like all of our videos, if you come over to the letter and the numbered ones, you have a series of links to YouTube for the videos that talk about the subject. And if you click on the links with the actual topic itself, it's a Google search that will take you to the topic that's at hand. And you'll see there's a series of many other links that will take you to those individual subjects. But let's talk about those. Let's go over the chart details for Uranus. So yes, Uranus, we have it highlighted in purple. The purple planets are the outer planets. It is slower because it does have that 84-year rotation around the Earth. It symbolizes innovation, rebellion, change, and individuality. The ruling sign is Aquarius, and the corresponding house is the 11th house. You'll see over here, this is the 11th house. It rules Aquarius, and it is the first planet that you could actually see with a telescope. Originally, Aquarius shared Saturn. We talked about that in the last video, D8. We talked about how this was shared once upon a time when it was seen by the naked eye. But now, Aquarius and the 11th house have their own planets. And I imagine as we find other planets in our solar system, as we may, possibly, they may expand those out to the other ones that are showing like Venus and Mercury so that maybe they can have their own planets too one day. But we'll see. Uranus is the ruling planet of the 11th house. As you can see here, in Aquarius, which is a fixed air sign. We also highlighted down here where you can see Uranus, and this is the line itself of other things it connects to, the 11th house of community, Aquarius, and air and fixed. I also like to mention the planetary dignities. Now, every planet has two signs that they're either the ruler or exalted in, and two signs that they have their detriment and fall. The ruling sign is the main sign. Every planet has a ruling sign. Some have two. And every planet has an exalted sign. The exalted sign is a good position. In this case, Scorpio is the exalted position for Uranus. And in every planet, the detriment and the fall tend to be the more challenging ones. The detriment always opposes the ruler. In this case, since Aquarius is the ruler, the detriment is Leo. And the fall always opposes the exaltation. So in this case, Scorpio is the exaltation, and fall would be Taurus, is the polar opposite. We go on to talk more in D16 about dignities. We also will look it up later on when we get into that section as we go into what the dignities are. So, on every topic, we like to either have some keywords or some interesting facts about the page that we like to finish off with. In this case, we're talking about the keywords. We like to give the general ones, some positive ones, and some negative ones, so we keep it balanced so people can actually see a little bit of both sides of how the planet works. And you may notice that some of these things may have some actual similar keywords with other signs, planets, and houses, and that must mean they have some kind of connection through the key ring. So let's talk about those. Let's go and go over those. General: innovation, freedom, disruption, change, genius, individuality, positive traits, inventive, independent, progressive, visionary, creative, and enlightening. Negative traits: unstable, rebellious, detached, erratic, disruptive, and aloof. Okay. Cool, that's some excellent keywords that describe Uranus itself. You'll find that it may be a little bit different depending on what kind of sign it has. We'll get more on that when we start breaking down basic birth charts. But that pretty much covers right here what we're talking about Uranus for the day. Stay tuned our next episode, D10, where we talk about Neptune. We hope you have enjoyed this video from our Astrology Keyring series. If you like the content, please like, follow, and share with your friends. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed journey.